A Rock Springs hunter says a higher power led him to find a human skull in Wyoming's vast red desert. Despite slowing sales, the Jackson Hole real estate market is still setting records. And Montana's grizzlies keep moving east towards the prairies. We'll take a look at these stories and more today from Wyoming's largest news organization. I'm Wendy Kaur for Cowboy State Daily. The Rock Springs hunter who found a human skull while chasing an elk Saturday is now marveling at the odds of stumbling upon a head in the galactic hugeness of Wyoming's red desert. Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland spoke to Mark Zancanella, who said that if things had happened differently in any minuscule way, the blinding white skull near a sagebrush would never have caught his eye.
The fact that this infinitesimal particularity of circumstance led him to stumble upon that skull, he said it felt as though a higher power dictated it all.
Wyoming's red desert is more than 9,000 square miles. Elk hunting area 118, where Zancanella was hunting, is about 40 miles long in one direction from Wamsutter to near Rawlins. He said he hopes authorities can link the skull to a case that needs resolution. Well, although Jackson Hole real estate watchers are getting excited that the market in Teton County may be cooling, it's not happening. Even though there's been a 22% decline in overall sales year over year in this popular ski resort and wildlife-rich territory, listing prices are continuing to climb, and a 24% bump in available inventory has still only brought the supply of Jackson Hole real estate to about half of what it was before the COVID-19 pandemic. The least expensive home on the market at the moment is a modest 1,048 square foot, 2-bedroom, 1-bath home priced at $1.073 million. The most expensive, by contrast, is nearly 10,000 square feet, a 4-bedroom, 7-bath home with 2 garages on 4.5 acres. It's listed at $37.5 million. Wyoming public schools will have to notify parents about changes to the health status of their children, including help in gender transitioning, under a draft bill passed by a state legislative committee Tuesday evening. Cowboy State Daily's Leo Wolfson reports that the State Joint Education Committee advanced draft legislation to the 2024 session of the Wyoming legislature that, if passed, would put more stringent laws for when parents are to be notified of changes made to their children's health status at school.
The most relatable real-life scenario compared to this law was what's going on with the Rock Springs situation, where a particular student in Rock Springs changed what they were being identified with their gender, unbeknownst to the knowledge of their parents.
The committee passed the bill on a 10-4 vote after a more than 3-hour discussion. I'll be back with more news right after this.
No one should go hungry on Thanksgiving, and yet hundreds of men, women, and children from our community are homeless and hurting this holiday season. Yet you can provide hope. Just $2.58 provides a hot meal and life-changing services at the Wyoming Rescue Mission, like safe, welcoming shelter, support, and long-term recovery to help them get back on their feet. Learn more and give online at wyomission.org. That's wyomission.org.
Wyoming's U.S. House representative on Wednesday blasted a retired Laramie attorney's legal challenge to keep former President Donald Trump and U.S. Senator Cynthia Lummis off the state's ballot. Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland reports that Representative Harriet Hageman called Tim Newcomb's pro se filing in Albany County District Court boneheaded and tyrannical.
She called Newcomb's challenge frivolous, and she called it unconstitutional idiocy. And she emphasized, just like Lummis did in her comments Tuesday, that she believes that this is interfering with the voters' decisions.
Newcomb said, quote, "An aggrieved Wyoming voter has the right to ask for a court hearing on the issue." And Montana's prairie grizzlies continue to press eastward as a trail camera captured a photo of a grizzly in the game-rich Missouri Breaks region of north-central Montana. The camera in the area of Montana's Judith River caught an image of a large bear passing through in October, more than 100 miles east of the Rocky Mountain front and the core habitat of the Northern Continental Divide grizzly population. But outdoors reporter Mark Hines says the Missouri Breaks is not an unlikely location for grizzly bears.
There's a lot of wildlife in the Missouri Breaks, and so biologically, the grizzlies could fit in there.
Though they're now thought of as a primarily mountain wilderness species, grizzlies once roamed across the Great Plains and are at home in prairie habitat. For several years, they've been pushing into prairie habitat in Montana. And that's today's news. Get your free digital subscription to Wyoming's only statewide newspaper by hitting the subscribe button on CowboyStateDaily.com. I'm Wendy Kaur for Cowboy State Daily.